Hello guys, if you're watching this video means probably you're thinking about joining my mentorship program. You might have watched the testimonials of my mentees like this year toppers Vikas 27th rank, Rohin 39th rank, Sachin last year 41st rank, Kiran 53rd rank this year, Neelesh 77th rank who was Sociology topper also, and 89th rank by Sonali. So these are the top names comes in the first 100 I have taken, and you might have watched those videos, their podcasts, their testimonials about my mentorship program and how we helped and everything you might have seen. And that's the reason why you might be thinking about my mentorship program. And if you have not watched that, and if you're watching me for the first time, I'll attach all those videos, all those testimonials, all those podcasts also, so that it will be a big learning experience for you, what the strategies they have followed and how I have guided them and all those, right? And that I'll pin in the comment section here. See, before you make that decision, I don't want to spend anyway next 30-40 minutes talking about the course or fees or batches or schedules. I'm not a person who's going to do that. What I want is I will be discussing about something which is much more important, that I basically want to tell you how I think about UPSC preparation, my thoughts, and if that matches with you, right? So how I consider UPSC preparation, and if that resonate with you or match with your wavelength, your frequency, then you can think about joining my mentorship program. Then only we can work together also, because I genuinely believe that most of the aspirants that I've seen, they do not fail because they are incapable. They fail because they are trying to solve the wrong problem for years, right? Every year I meet students who have read Lakshmikant 3, 4, 5 times. I've seen students who have completed all the standard textbooks and watched hundreds of hours of lectures and joined multiple coaching institute year after year. This year, X cost coaching institute, next year, Y coaching institute, this year, X mentor, and next year, Y mentor, and collected thousands of pages of notes. But still, you are unable to clear the examination. Forget about this entire examination, even the first stage, which is a prelims itself. So, what I want you to do is ask yourself a simple question. Can all of them be unintelligent? Of course not, right? There are brightest of the minds in that also. I've seen and I've picked from there, and I have made them toppers also. For example, Priya last year, she got 232nd rank. You can watch her testimonials and podcast. In fact, my sociology student, so she couldn't clear prelims for the fourth consecutive prelims, and in the fifth attempt, she picked up, cleared prelims, mains, interview in one go. So see, if she can crack it in all in one go, she's not, the problem is not because of intelligence. The problem is something else, that what she was doing in the last first four attempt was not the right approach, right? So you need to change it. So that's what I mean by, you are trying to solve a wrong problem. So if you think that's not, people are not, it is not because it is you are unintelligent, or can all of them be lazy? Definitely no, right? Then why do they fail? Over the years, after mentoring thousands of aspirants and interacting with successful candidates also, I realized something very important. The biggest problem when it comes to UPSC preparation is not lack of intelligence. It's definitely not lack of hard work. It is not even lack of content, because you are willing to work hard. You have content everywhere. The biggest problem is lack of direction. So students don't know whether they are studying the right thing, right? They don't know whether they are spending the right amount of time on the right subject, and they don't know whether their notes are useful, or are they preparing the notes in the right way. Do they have the learning note? Do they have a proper revision note, or learning note and revision note are the same, or they have an exam ready notes, which is again different than the revision note, which might be with the keywords, and they don't know whether their answer writing is improving or not. And there is no accountability also, and the students don't know whether they should continue with the same strategy or completely change it. And this confusion, that slowly kills preparation. It's like a, this uncertainty or this confusion is actually the problem. And initially, when I see the students, they're excited, they watch motivational videos, and they buy all the new books, and they create colorful timetables and everything. It looks so good, and they promise themselves that this attempt will be different. But what happens after a few months? The reality comes back, reality sets in. One backlog becomes two, two becomes 10, and current affairs pile up, right? Optional remains incomplete, answer writing is kept on postponed, essay preparation and essay writing also is postponed, ethics is postponed, and suddenly you realize that another year has gone. So if you ask them how they spent that year, they'll honestly tell you, so I studied every day. This is what I studied. Then if I ask you what happened then, where is your essay? Where is your ethics? Where is your optional? Nothing is done also. And if they are saying that, sir, I studied everything every day, they are right also. They did study, but studying and progressing are two completely different things. You can remain busy every single day and still move nowhere. You may be busy, but no progress. That's why busy and progress, or studying and progressing, are different. So imagine a person who's walking on a treadmill, right? He's running, he's sweating, he feel like he's putting that effort, he's putting tremendous effort, in fact, right? Running, sweating, and all those. But at the end of 1 hour, he's exactly where he started, right? And you know, many students, what happens, prepare like that. Lots of effort he's putting, very little progress, right? Maybe that person who's running on the treadmill, running, sweating, everything is there, but after 1 hour it's the same if he's not following rest of the things rightly, right? The diet or anything. So this happens. So same is the case with UPSC aspirants also. You put a lot of effort, hours of study, but very little progress. The reason is what I'll be discussing, maybe not in the right direction. And that's exactly what I try to solve in my mentorship program, right? And that's exactly what we did with all these toppers. And if you watch their podcast and testimonials, you will rightly understand how accountability helped them, how direction helped them. So, in fact, to all of them, I asked one question: whether it is the test series or the answer writing or evaluation or the feedback or the direction or accountability helped, accountability to the mentor, they tell all of it together. In fact, direction and accountability is more important, because you definitely, become accountable when you, especially when you have a mentor like me, right? So today, the word mentorship has become kind of fashionable, right? Everyone claims to be a mentor, but let's understand what mentorship actually means, right? So mentorship is not daily motivational speeches. I'm not going to talk to you daily. I'm not going to give you motivational speech. I'm not going to give you daily classes or sessions, because I am busy in my own other ways also. So when I say mentorship, mentorship is not someone calling you every evening and asking whether you studied or not. Mentorship is not definitely spoon feeding, and at this level it is not what is actually required for you. Mentorship is not replacing your hard work, and I'm not here to do your work. You have to do your work. My job is to make you to do your work, right? So mentorship, what I mean is, it's something much deeper. A mentor will try to or help you to avoid mistakes that you cannot see yourself. So when you see from your side, you may not see that mistakes, you may not be able to understand that, but a mentor will understand and will help you to solve that problem. See, any profession, you take any profession, every, for example, Olympic, athlete you take, has a coach. Every successful entrepreneur has advisors. Even for me, as an entrepreneur, I have advisors, I have a team. As a I do multiple jobs, right? So I hope all of you know that. As a trader, again, I have a mentor. So any success, that is why you are becoming successful. Every successful company has a board, not because they don't know their field. I know my field. If I'm trading, I know everything. If I'm running business and if I'm an entrepreneur, I know the things. But because every human being has blind spots also. And the same applies to you and your UPSC preparation and UPSC also. So when you evaluate your own preparation, you naturally overestimate some areas and you underestimate some other areas. You think your notes are good because you prepared it, you did a lot of work on that. You think your answers are decent. You think your preparation is definitely on track. But an experienced mentor like me can immediately identify where the real problem is just by reading one of the answer, or just by looking at your notes. A glance is enough to understand whether your direction is correct. Sometimes the problem is not the content, right? You have enough content. Sometimes it could be interpretation. Sometimes it can be the presentation. If you're not presenting it properly, then you're not going to score. Sometimes it's a problem with consistency. Sometimes it can be the problem of confidence. And sometimes it's simply that you're spending 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours solving a problem that never needed that 6 hours. So you are giving so much of attention or effort, which definitely don't deserve that much. And that is where the mentorship is going to add value. That is where it is going to help you to save time and your effort also. So my role, it is definitely not to study for you. My role is to ensure that every hour you study, and that will definitely produce maximum output. right? In simple terms, to make you more efficient. Right. One thing that I never believe is, in us actually giving the same strategy to everyone, because every student is different. It's not the same strategy which I am telling to everyone. First, you have to understand the student, and you need to curate. You need to. It has to be like tailored for that particular person. Imagine two students. The first student has been preparing for 3 years, and the second student started preparation only 2 months ago. Can I honestly give both of them the same timetable? Definitely not possible, right? Similarly, suppose I have a working professional who cannot follow the same schedule as a full-time aspirant. A college student have different constraints. A repeater have different weakness also, different advantages also. Someone preparing with sociology optional has different requirements from someone preparing with public administration. So before we even discuss books or schedules, the first thing that I want to understand is, where are you standing today? What is your current position? And that is where the mentorship begins. It's not with advice or anything, it's with the diagnosis. There will always be a kind of diagnosis test to understand the problems and where you stand. See, what a good doctor will do, a good doctor will never start treatment before the diagnosis, right? Similarly, a good mentor should never prescribe a strategy before understanding the student. I cannot simply tell you go and read this and you get it done. No, first you have to understand, you do the diagnosis, and then understand the weakness or the strength, and accordingly you'll have to. Even when people come to me for weight loss and all those things also, first you have to understand that person, right, his body composition and everything, and then you have to decide what to do. So what's the biggest mistake students make is, most of the aspirants, they don't have, one strategy. They have 10 strategies. They watch one YouTube video today with one strategy, and another tomorrow, a toppers interview next week, and then they join another Telegram group and they watch another mentor. Within 1 month, they have collected 5 different approaches to study and prepare for UPSC. Now think about it. What will happen? That will only create confusion. What we need is one road, one direction, one goal, right? So if you have one goal and multiple ways to reach that goal, then you get confused. One mentor might be telling you to make notes. Another will tell you don't make notes. That's waste of time. One may tell you to read newspaper. Another may tell you no, don't read. That's waste of time and magazines are enough. One will tell you to write answers from day one, right? Another may tell you complete the syllabus first. Or I may tell you at least have 1 month of reading and then start writing. That give you confidence. So it's different. So the students also keep changing direction. And every time you change direction, what is happening is you're losing momentum. If you're going in a one single track continuously, you're never losing the momentum, and momentum is more important. So inside my mentorship, one of my biggest responsibility is to eliminate this unnecessary confusion. You should never have any confusion. You should only have clarity on your goal, clarity on your direction, because clarity itself is a competitive advantage for you. And when you wake up in the morning, you should not waste 1 hour deciding what to study. You should already know what's your target of that day, what's your target of that week, and you need to be having that clarity. So you should already know why you're studying it also, and you should already know how it connect you with your larger preparation and where it is going to take you also. See, my philosophy of planning is, in fact, many students ask me, so can you give me a timetable? My answer is always the same. A timetable is useful only if it can be followed. A beautiful timetable that lasts 3 days is useless if you cannot follow beyond 3 days. But a realistic timetable, which is followed consistently for 6 months, is powerful than a beautiful timetable, attractive timetable that you can only follow 3 weeks or 1 week. And that is why I don't believe in ideal planning. I believe in something which is executable, realistic planning. So your study plan should suit your life. Right? That's why I told you, whether you're a working professional or a full-time aspirant, whether you are a third attempter or you're the first attempter. So your study plan should suit your life, and not someone else's study plan is going to be applicable to you. Because UPSC is not won by making ambitious plans. It is won by executing the realistic plans consistently for 1 year. Right? So again, this is something which you need to understand, that content is not your problem. It is never a problem, especially when AI is there, when all these facilities are there. There's a very important point that I want to tell you. It may surprise many students also. Content is probably the easiest thing to obtain. All the books are available, all the lectures are available, all the notes are available, the current affairs are available, AI tools are available, right? If you look at it, for anything, for note making, for summary making, for everything, you get it. Information is no longer a scarce now. The real challenge is, filtering those information. What is required for UPSC? What I need. So students, in fact, suffer from this resource overload. Too many books and too many PDFs and too many Telegram channels and too many YouTube videos. So inside the mentorship, one of the first thing that I do is to help students to consolidate the resources. See, it's not because reading more is bad, but because revising less is, worse. You should be reading those which you can revise. Reading without revision is not going to help in retention. If you are not going to retain, then you cannot reproduce or present. Then you're not going to score roads. So UPSC reward revision, retention, reproduction, and not just reading or collection. I would rather see you to revise one excellent notebook 10 times than, own or read 20 books you never finish, or you just do it only one time. Right? So just 1 minute, guys. Okay, sorry, I got a guest here. So I think we discussed about the resources, right? Now let me explain something that I believe is the biggest difference between an average aspirant and a successful aspirant. I've seen thousands of aspirants. I've seen the toppers in hundreds also, right? I myself was a topper also. So I know, right? So from seeing so many, it's not about intelligence. It's not about hard work. This is something which I've already discussed. It's not even knowledge. See, even if you have knowledge, but if you cannot present, then there is of no use when it comes to UPSC. They are not rewarding for your knowledge. They are rewarding for what you present over there. It is the ability to convert that knowledge into marks. Think about it. Two students read the same book, attend the same class, right? My mentorship also, study the same current affair. Still, one of them can score 95 and another can score 125. So 95 and 125, 30 marks different, right? So is there any knowledge difference? The other student who scored 125, did he know more than or 30 marks more he know than the 95 mark guy? No, right? So the difference here is in that preparation, not in preparation, the presentation part. Preparation, both of them done equally, same resources, same mentor, same classes. So the difference is in the interpretation of the knowledge, or the presentation part, or the answer writing part. And that's why answer writing is not something that we postpone until the syllabus is completed. Answer writing is part of the preparation itself, so that will be integrated in this mentorship right from the beginning itself. And many students tell me, so let me first finish the syllabus and then I will start writing answers. That day never going to come to you guys. Because UPSC preparation never truly gets completed. So you cannot wait for completion of syllabus to start writing answers. There is always another, report you will find. There is always another committee which is there. There is always another current affair issue. Another article will come. So if you wait to complete everything before writing answers, you'll never start. So inside the mentorship program, answer writing begin alongside the preparation, maybe after a couple of weeks. Because every answer you write teach you something. And sometimes it teach you content. Sometimes it teach you structure. And this will help you to improve your answer writing. I told you answer writing is a skill which has to be improved upon practice. Sometimes it teach you that you misunderstood the question completely. And that learning is invaluable. So the more mistakes you make, that are your stepping stones, and you keep improving in the next answer. So I don't teach answers. I teach thinking. This is something I want every students to understand. In fact, many coaching institutes teach model answers. Model answers are definitely useful because they are like guiding you, this is what you need to do. But they are not enough. That spoon feeding is not going to work in UPSC because UPSC never repeat the same question. Right? If I only teach you answers, I'm preparing you for yesterday's examination. So my objective is different. I want to teach you how toppers think, or how UPSC is thinking, or we are trying to decode what UPSC is requiring from you. So see, when a topper read a question, they don't panic. They first identify the demand, right? So we'll try to identify the demand of the question. and like what exactly UPSC is asking, and what are the keywords in the question, what are the different dimensions to be covered. Can I use any diagram in this particular question if there is a possibility? Can I use a committee recommendation to add value? Can I connect any current affair here? Can I strengthen the introduction by adding some quotes or anything? Right? This thinking process, that is what I'm going to teach. I'm not going to give you a ready-made introduction. I'm not going to give you a ready-made committee recommendations or anything. I'm going to teach you how you're going to think under pressure. Because once you learn how to think, you can answer questions you have never seen before also. For example, I got a question where it is 15 marker and I want 15 points. I may not be able to brainstorm immediately to get that 15 points. I make you think in 5 dimension. So 15 points I want, but I break it into 5 dimension, which you can easily do. Economic, political, social, like that. And for 5 dimension, each of these, I just need 3 points now. I can get it easily done and dusted. Right, now comes to PYQ. Another mistake that students makes are treating the previous year questions as practice material. And for me, PYQs are much more than practice questions. Previous year questions actually telling you how UPSC think. In fact, they reveal the important themes, the recurring dimension. They reveal the language of the examiner. They reveal what UPSC considers important, what UPSC is expecting from you. So before studying any topic, I always encourage students to understand what UPSC have already asked. Through that only you will be getting the mindset of UPSC. So when you understand the demand of previous question, your preparation becomes focused. So you'll stop reading blindly and you start reading with purpose. Right? Now, resource consolidation, something which I've already discussed. In fact, one of the biggest responsibilities that I take during this entire mentorship program with you is protecting students from unnecessary distractions. And that I take as my responsibility because see, today, every day you get a new PDF, either in Telegram or in group or whatever. New magazine is recommended, a new source become popular. Naturally, I don't know from somewhere it comes, right? And students keep collecting all these and very few keep revising only. Remember one thing, guys, revision is what actually creating rank. Collection only create anxiety. So that is not required. For example, to my sociology students, I tell, yes, we have 4 booklets once we complete the syllabus. This 4 booklets, as much as possible, you keep revising, read, repeat. Every single point need to be there in your mind. After that, if you feel like I have enough and more time, then only a couple of other resources I will suggest. So if you have limited time, only this. After this, if you've done very well, if you're so confident about each and every paragraph and lines and everything, then only we even think about any other source for sociology. Like that, only other papers also. So what I'm telling is revision is what creating rank. Collection will create only anxiety. So I constantly guiding students on what to read, what not to read, what to ignore, what you need to revise. And that is alone going to save hundreds of hours over that 1 year. And that 100 hours you can use again in a more productive way. So this is how things will get compounded. Right? And many students proudly show me huge notebooks, hundreds of pages, beautiful handwriting. A lot of, ladies I've seen, right? Colorful headings. Then I ask one question, can you revise this in fact, all these, what you prepared 3 days before the examination? The answer is almost always no. Right? See, what I mean by good notes. Good notes should help me to revise. It's not that long. So there will be a revision note. That is something which I have to make. That should be different from a learning note. Learning note, for example, if I'm teaching, for example, sociology, a topic, scope of sociology, it might be 4 or 5 page, but my revision note will be just 1 page, summary of that. And my exam ready note will be only with the keywords. I should be seeing 6, 7 keywords and I completely get the topic in my mind. That should trigger the topic fully in my mind. So can you revise this big note before the examination? Not possible. So good notes are not long. Good notes are the ones which are useful. Good notes should trigger recall. That's what I mean by when I see these keywords, it should trigger the complete concept in my mind. So it should not become another book. So inside my mentorship, I'll teach students how to create 1-page notes, mind maps, micro theme notes, ethics repositories, essay examples, current affairs value addition, and these becomes your revision weapon. Now comes ethics, our favorite paper, right? Let me talk about that. Most of the students actually think ethics is the easiest paper. Ironically, it is one of the paper where students lose most of the marks also. Why? Because they prepare ethics like polity. Ethics is not about definition. Ethics is not about it's in fact you have to apply more. Definition is there. It is about application, and ethics have a language. So inside mentorship, we build ethics systematically. We prepare thinkers, we prepare definitions, examples, case studies, administrative values, current affairs, postal experience, and most importantly, we learn how to think like a civil servant, not like a student. You will no more be a student. Even you will start thinking like a civil servant at this moment onwards. And that difference alone transform ethic answers. And that's why I told you the ethics have a language, and we need to get into that language. Similarly, essay. Essay is not about English. Many students will come and tell me my English is weak and I'm not able to write essay. This is what another paper where students unnecessarily, fear. Many believe my English is weak, my vocabulary is poor, my handwriting is average. Let me tell you something very seriously. Essay is not an English examination. Essay is a thinking examination. So UPSC want to know how you analyze an idea, how you organize your thoughts, how you connect dimension, how you conclude things positively. That is exactly what we practice, like brainstorming, structure, frameworks, examples, codes, case studies, introductions, conclusions. So once you have the structure, then it is going to be easy for you. In fact, essay becomes much easier once you stop seeing as a, creating answers and start seeing it as a structured thinking. Essay is more of thinking. It's about brainstorming. It's about argumentative in nature. Now coming to our sociology optional, right? For those who are preparing sociology with me, my approach has always remained the same. Conceptual clarity first, right? And thinkers, previous year questions, answer writing throughout the session. And see, many students memorize thinkers. Very few understand them. And when you truly understand a thinker, you can apply that thinker to multiple questions. For example, Durkheim I can use in any scenario. Religion I can use, family I can use, even in politics I can use. Weber, anywhere I can use. Stratification I can use. Politics, any topic in your syllabus you take, you can use Weber. Marx also, by using a conflict approach. So optional preparation is not about memorizing more. It's about understanding that paper. Right, now the current affair. That should improve your answers. Many students spend 2 or 3 hours every day reading current affair. And I ask them, how many current affair examples did you use in yesterday's answer? And it's a total silence. Because they are reading but not integrating. What is the purpose in that? So when it comes to our mentorship, we continuously discuss how current affair is going to enrich your GS, your ethics, how this current affair topic is connected with your GS papers and ethics paper, which of the current affair I can use in example for ethics. Same I can use within ethics in multiple cases. For example, for accountability, for compassion, for integrity. How the same examples can be used in those, in sociology, and even in interview. So current affair again should not remain in your notebook. They should appear in your answer, right? Now comes the most important part, right? What I believe is the most important aspect of this mentorship. You ask to any of my mentees, or in the podcast itself, if you watch, I'll attach that below in the comment section. So one question that I asked them in the podcast also, what helped them? Majority will tell, in fact, all these parameters, the direction, the feedback, the evaluation, answer writing, but accountability. That make you accountable to me, and you are in a way forced to do things, right? So knowledge without accountability, that rarely lead to success. Most of the students know what they should study, but the problem is execution. That is why we build a system. We build daily targets, weekly interaction, periodic review, reflection, course correction, not because I want to monitor you, but because consistency is built through systems and not motivation. Every week we discuss where you stand, what worked for you, what did not work for you, what need to be changed, where the improvement should come. So instead of waiting for 6 months to realize your strategy is wrong, We will try to identify the problems early and correct them immediately. That is the purpose of mentorship, right? Now, one habit that I strongly encourage every student to develop is reflection. At the end of each day, you have to ask yourself, what did I complete today? What distracted me? What did I learn? What can I improve tomorrow? Few minutes of honest reflection every day that can completely transform your preparation. Because improvement begins with awareness. Now, again, you ask me whether community is required or not. UPSC preparation is lonely, and it's very lonely. Sometimes you begin doubting yourself. Sometimes you feel everyone else is moving faster. And that is why community matters, not for comparison, definitely not for comparison, but for encouragement. So when you see another aspirant writing answers consistently, you feel inspired. That's why we have a community. If you're an offline student in Trivandrum, then we have the space, we have the reading room, we have 5 floors here. You are here fully. So when you see others overcoming the setbacks, you realize you are not alone. So healthy accountability, that create discipline, that create confidence also. And it's definitely not going to create pressure. So my philosophy is very simple. Finally, see, I want to share one philosophy that I want every student in this mentorship to follow. There will be difficult days. There will be days when you get completely tired. Days when nothing seems to work. There will be days when you question your decision to prepare. And those days are very normal. But on those days, promise yourself one thing. There will be no 0 days. You may not study 8 hours. You may not complete your target, but you do something. At least read 2 pages or revise yesterday's notes. Write one answer or solve 5 MCQs at least. Or at least just watch one lecture in YouTube or our lectures. Just stay connected to your preparation, because the biggest danger is not one bad day. The biggest danger is disconnecting completely. Bad days will be there, but don't disconnect completely. Don't lose the momentum. At least 5 MCQs. So consistency always defeat the intensity. Right, just one more minute, guys. Just give me 1 minute. All right, guys. So now let me tell you something that I tell every students who join my mentorship. Okay. So see, I'm not looking for hundreds of students who simply enroll. I'm not doing it for money also. So those who know me, they know me. I have multiple other business. The coaching institute is so big that we are the number one in Kerala. Leave that. Apart from that, I myself was a trader and investor, and I'm managing so huge funds. Apart from that, we have multiple other edtech business and e-commerce business, etc. So it's not done definitely for money. It's done just because of passion. So I'm not looking for hundreds of students who simply enroll. I'm looking for students who are willing to transform themselves. I want to see that journey. I want to see that transformation. I want to see how I contribute to them. Because mentorship is not just a one-way process. It's a kind of partnership. So that's why I told you in the beginning, if matches your wavelength, your frequency, then you're welcome. Right? There are 2 people who involved in this journey, you and me. Both of us have responsibilities. Let me first tell you what my responsibilities are, and then I'll tell you your responsibilities. What I promise you is, the first promise that I make is, you'll never be confused about what to study. Confusion is the biggest enemies of UPSC preparation. So every day students ask questions like, so should I read this book? Should I change my notes? Should I join another course? Should I make handwritten notes? Should I read another magazine? And most of these questions arise because there is no clarity. And one of my biggest responsibilities is basically to eliminate these unnecessary confusion. So when you wake up in the morning, you should already know what today's target is. When you finish today's target, you should know what is tomorrow's target. When you complete one subject, you should know what comes next. So preparation should become systematic and it should never be random. And the second promise that I make is that I'll always be honest with you. If your preparation is going well, I'll tell you, yes. If your preparation is going poor, I'll also tell you the same. And many students just want motivation. But I believe students need honesty. If your answer is average, I'll blindly tell that. I'll not call it excellent simply to make you happy, to give you motivation. Because false confidence is very dangerous. I don't want to appease you. I don't want to keep you happy. I don't want to keep you motivated if the reality is different. Right? I want you with complete and consistent improvement only. So the real improvement begins when we honestly accept our weaknesses and if you improve upon that. Everyone make mistakes. Right? The third promise that I make is continuous course correction. UPSC preparation is never a straight line. Sometimes your strategy works, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes a particular source is helping you, sometimes it is only wasting your time. So instead of allowing you to continue making the same mistakes for 6 months, we identify it early and correct it. And that is one of the biggest advantages of mentorship. And the fourth promise that I make is I'll always focus on execution. Many students, if you're watching this video, what should you do, right? You know rightly, but very few actually implement it. That implementation is the problem. See, knowledge without execution has no value. Every interaction we have will ultimately come back to one question. Are you implementing what you already know? Because implementation is what is going to create result and not information that you have. Right? Now, what I cannot promise. Let me tell you something that many coaching advertisements will never tell you. I cannot promise you an IAS rank. I cannot promise you All India rank 1. You may be one among, you can get rank 1, you can get rank. See, last year, 6 were there in the top 100. Vikas, 27, Rohin, 39, Sachin, 41, Kiran, 53, Sonali, 89, right? These are in the top 100. Leave about Priya, Ayush Pathak, Himanshu. If I want to name, so many are there, right? Priya is very close to me, so I'll have to, even though the rank is 232, I'll have to mention her name also. Okay, so these are names that I used to take as it is in the first 100, as they definitely get IAS. Now, there are many others also. Ayush Pathak, he get IAS because he have reservation also, though his rank is in 212 or something. So my point is, I'm not going to promise that. You may get it during the process. No one can promise, right? What you do, what you write, what you tell in the interview board is not in my hand, right? I cannot simply promise you just by joining the mentorship, you'll change your life. But you definitely will change your perspective, your understanding and your approach and everything. Honestly, anyone who makes such changes, I'm not being truthful, especially when it comes to UPSC, because ultimately you are going to study, you are going to write, you are going in front of the interview board. So your personality also matters, because the examination is ultimately written by whom? Not by me, it's by you. The answer sheet carries your handwriting and not my handwriting. Your interview is attended by you and not me. And because of that, I'll never promise any kind of guaranteed success. But I can promise something equally important. If you sincerely follow the process, if you remain disciplined throughout this year, if you stay accountable to me, if you stay continuously improved, then your preparation will become far more effective than it is today, than to your friends and competitors. And that significantly improve your chances of success. And that's the honest promise that I can make. Now, what I expect from you, let me tell you what I expect from every student. I don't expect you to study 16 hours a day. Definitely, it's not required. I don't expect you to become perfect overnight, right? But, or I don't even expect you to know everything in the world. Never possible. I expect few simple things. First, I want you to be consistent, right? 1% improvement every day. Small progress every day is better than huge progress in a month. So I want you to be consistent. I want you to be in the momentum. I want that 1% improvement every day. It should be consistent. Not 10%, not 20%, not 100% overnight. 1% every day. Small progress. There is no zero day in your life. You may be feeling worst day, but at least 5 MCQs will. Second, be honest to me. If you couldn't complete today's target, accept it. Don't create excuses. Only then you can improve. Third, you have to write. Reading alone never going to clear UPSC. You have to write. Every answer you write is another step towards becoming exam ready. Fourth, you have to revise. Students often underestimate revision, but remember, the student who revises 5 times usually performs better than the student who read 5 new books twice. Finally, trust the process. There will be days when improvement is invisible. That doesn't mean improvement is not happening. Growth happens silently, gradually, slowly. Okay, now the question is why this mentorship is different. Many programs focus only on teaching, but my focus is a complete transformation of you as a person. Teaching is only one part of the preparation. I hope if you understood me as a person, I'm not just a teacher, right? You look at my body, you look at my other achievements, you look at the other fields where I'm involved in, right? So you understand, I transform you completely. Okay, so teaching is just one part of preparation. Transformation happens when knowledge changes your behavior, when planning becomes execution. I am someone who do what I speak. I won't tell you to be healthy, eat very good, and do exercise, sleep well. And I'm not someone who's not doing it. If I tell you to eat well, I first eat well. If I ask you to do workout, I do the workout. If I ask you to sleep well, I do that. And that's why I look like this. Even but at this age of 40, I may be better than you in terms of my physique, in terms of my strength. My biological age is 28. I've recently done a testing. So what my point is, transformation happens when knowledge changes the behavior. When the planning becomes your execution, not just merely staying as a plan. When the confusion becomes clarity. When inconsistency becomes discipline. When the fear becomes your confidence. So your fear in mind at this point of time is going to be your confidence. And that transformation that cannot happen through recorded lectures alone. It requires continuous interaction, continuous feedback, continuous accountability, and that is exactly what this mentorship was designed to provide. Now, my vision for every student, when you complete this mentorship, I want you to become completely a different aspirant. I want you to stop asking, what should I study today? Instead, I want you to ask, how can I improve today's answer? I want you to stop collecting resources. Instead, start revising those resources which you have collected. I want you to stop comparing yourself with other aspirants. Instead, I want you to compare yourself with the person you were yesterday. That's what I do in my case. I don't have any competitor. My competitor is me. I just want to be better than me, but who were yesterday. I want you to stop preparing emotionally. Instead, prepare systematically, intelligently. Because UPSC is never a sprint, it's a marathon. And marathons are won through consistency. Not motivation, not excitement, not sudden impulses. So before I conclude, let me tell you, I want to leave with you one simple idea. Suppose 2 aspirants start preparation today. One is going to study alone. The other studies under a structured mentorship like this. Now see, after 1 year, the difference between them is rarely intelligence. Intelligence may be the same. The difference is that one person spent 12 months continuously correcting mistakes. The other spent 12 months repeating the same mistakes again and again. And that is the real value of mentorship. And that's exactly what you get. So you will be a completely transformed or reformed or a corrected person, right? Not like the other one. And that's the value of this mentorship. And not that someone studies on your behalf, right? Not, that someone ensure you don't keep making this. It's like here only. You won't make the same mistakes. So you keep correcting yourself. You keep reforming yourself. You keep improving yourself. So as a mentor, I commit that I'll always give you the honest guidance. That's there. I'll continuously improve our program also by understanding, what is happening in UPSC, right? I'll bring the best strategies, the best framework, and the best learning methods that I know that I can take, and I'll be available whenever you genuinely need a direction. And I'll definitely celebrate your success. It's like my success. And when you fail, I'll help you to understand why you failed, and how to come back strong. Because failure is never the end of this journey. Quitting is. So what is your commitment? Now, I want one commitment from you. Not to me, to yourself. Promise yourself that there will be no excuses from today. There will be no difficult days. There will be, see, difficult days will be there, right? That's what I mean by 0 day concept. But there won't be 0 days. There will be difficult days. There will be frustrating days. There will be emotionally tough days. There will be issues in family, with your relations. So emotionally, you can break down. There will be days when you feel nothing is working, but it should not disconnect you from your preparation. Even on your worst day, read at least one page, write one answer, revise one topic, do something. Because one missed day, that becomes one missed week. And that one missed week, that can become one missed month. And one missed month is going to be another missed attempt. So remember this, there are no extraordinary students. There are only ordinary students who remain consistent for an extraordinary amount of time. There is a very famous saying by Bruce Lee. I'm not worried about a person who practiced thousands of kicks, but I'm worried about someone who practiced one kick 1,000 times. I tell the same for UPSC students also, for my trading mentorship also. Right? Follow the same strategy, keep refining that, be accountable, be right in the direction. So if after listening to me today, so far, if you have listened to me so far means, right, you feel that you are looking for shortcuts, this mentorship is probably not for you. I've made it very clear what I do, what I'm expecting from you, what this entire process is all about. But if you're looking for direction, if you're looking for accountability, if you're looking for honest feedback, if you're looking for someone who will not simply teach you, but walk with you throughout this journey, then I would be happy to mentor you. So let's work together. Let's build a structured preparation. Let's convert your effort into results. And hopefully, one day, we will celebrate your name in the final selection list. So guys, I look forward to being a part of your journey. Welcome to the Civil 360 mentorship program. So see you guys. Thank you so much.